Hello everyone, this is the Pushing Prince with the Hearts of Iron 4 basic tutorial video. This is the getting started part, and most of you will probably launch the game and then be looking at this screen. Well, certainly you will be doing that. I mean, that would be weird to start straight from a campaign. But anyway, let's look at it. So you have single player, multiplayer, options, credits, and quit. Of course, these options here as well, these little buttons, homepage, forum, Facebook, and Twitter for Hearts of Iron 4. And it's actually interesting that they decided to put a space between single and player, but not between multi and player. I mean, I can see why they did that, but it's just interesting. Anyway, most of you will probably hit options first here, just to see and set up things properly, at least I would. So these are your options here. Very cool that you can use the external web browser when clicking in-game links or that opening the wiki and such. So if you hit video, these are my settings. I still haven't received my new GPU yet, which is really awful. 980 Ti should arrive and then I'll be able to step up from that to the 1080. But anyway, not the purpose of this video. So I've turned this off, but I really do like that there's borderless here. Audio settings, your general and controls, I've left that as is. Now others, well, you might hit multiplayer and start a multiplayer game. As you can see, you can filter based on some options here. The name, the tags. Can even play on LAN, so the usual stuff. But probably even more of you will be hitting single player. Here you have the tutorial, load, and new game. I mean, nothing too new here. Tutorial, by the way, well, I can just show you a bit of it right now, just the beginning. So, you have this pop-up when you start the tutorial. If you hit minimize, it'll pop down here, and you will see these are your objectives, I believe, 0 out of 6, because it's all 6 here. If you click this button, it's going to open up either the in-game browser or your Windows browser, depending on your settings in game, of course. But now let's just go back to the menu. As you can see, that's a score screen, a nice loading screen. You can also load games, of course. But most of you are gonna hit new game, right? At least I would hope so. After playing the tutorial, of course. And after reading the wiki, and after, how should I put it? Watching streams. Preferably. I mean, you can go into battle unprepared, if that's what you want to do. But I would not recommend it. Still though, Hearts of Iron 4, I can say this much, it's... how should I put it? It's much better when it comes to the interface and reducing the amount of actions that feel redundant and weird mechanics. It doesn't have that like Hearts of Iron 3, so it's very nice to see. But anyway, as you can see, you can choose either Blitzkrieg or Gathering Storm campaigns, 36 or 39 start. And obviously this is because of two reasons. The 39 start, you go here. If you want to start out as, during the war, and focus more on actually producing units and fighting wars and such, you know, rather than starting from 36, which is when you actually have a lot of time to prepare, so you have to be really good about how you build your industry and which technologies you research and the ministers that you appoint and other things, of course. So yeah, I would probably recommend starting with the 36 campaign. Selecting a scenario here you can select a country. You see your national spirit, which is something that's important to note. That's what you get for your nation. This is just some fluff here, nothing that you need. You can also hit other countries and then select a country, but really what you pick here actually doesn't really matter. And I say this because once you click select country here, you'll still be in a world map anyway, so you can still pick your nation from this map mode, really, from this world map as well. So I would also hit interesting countries if you want to see the ones that would be interesting to play, of course, but I mean, obviously the majors are very important to play. And geez, I said obviously again. You can really hear that I'm excited because if you've been a long time subscriber, or if you've watched my videos for a long time, I say obviously when I really like something or when I'm excited. So yeah, now you can see that I actually really like this game. But enough of that, let's hit back here. If you want to start, I would recommend Switzerland, because I'd say this is your bread and butter start, like the easiest way to start, you know? Well, I wouldn't really call it bread and butter, but yeah. But it's far easier than, say, going as Germany and blitzing in as your first run, for sure, because Germany is just like extremely difficult to play if you're inexperienced. Because, I mean, you have to deal with, okay, dealing with Poland, quite easy, but then dealing with France, a bit more difficult, but still not that difficult, so to speak. But then you're gonna have issues, because if you push into Soviet Union, that won't be easy at all. And then actually the AI in this game is very good, because it's going to start naval invasions here, from what I've seen. And it's going to pounce, how should I put it? It's going to pounce onto France and try and take it back and liberate it. And they're gonna send in so many divisions, and you'll be like, oh no, what do I do now? So, indeed, playing as Germany, I would not recommend it. Only for people who want to suffer, I suppose. Well, no, actually, I did play Germany as my second run, and yeah, it was fairly interesting, to say the least. I did start out with Switzerland just to get a feeling for the interface, and that's why I would recommend you to start out as Switzerland as first too, as your first nation, because you just get to learn the mechanics, how the interface works, where all the buttons are, how you can move your troops, how you can do battle plans, and you know, it's all very easy and you don't get overwhelmed, so to speak. Whereas if you play Germany, like I said, there's so much you have to think about and so much planning ahead. You could also go for something like, let's say, Romania is a good pick as well, I'd say. You have a lot of options, really. You can go commie, you can go fascist as well. I would not recommend allies, because you'd be stuck between the Axis and the Comintern, so yeah, that's not the best place to be. So yeah, either fascist or commie, I would say, as Romania. Because yeah, joining allies, not the best choice really. So the number one pick for me as a new player would be Switzerland, and then it would be a nation around here to have a bit of actual warring going on, because as Romania, you can actually start wars before World War II officially hits and start conquering some stuff, and you'll have a lot of fun because it is still quite challenging, so to speak. Well, I wouldn't say it's very challenging. It's not like Germany. It's definitely harder than Switzerland, but it's manageable. I mean, you can beat Bulgaria as Romania fairly easily, and you can do the same with like Hungary, right? So there's that. And obviously, if you played as Hungary, you would have you would definitely be able to beat Romania. But if you played as Bulgaria, actually, they don't have that strong of a military, it seems, in the game, but you can still make up for it because you're a player and the AI is an AI, so you're more efficient with things, so to speak, and you know what to do. So that's something to keep in mind. But as your first game, probably won't know what to do. Still though, I'd recommend starting as Switzerland first, then playing as, say, Romania. Warring a little bit with these nations, whereas with Switzerland you just try and learn everything about the interface and build a little bit of industry and such. So yeah, I'd recommend these two at first. Then for should I put it? What else would I recommend? Definitely not Poland. Poland would be insanely hard to play because you have, of course, Germany. France is a third pick, might not be too awful, but I still wouldn't recommend it. Soviet Union, far too big, too much to micromanage. And United Kingdom, again, there's too much to think about. Because you have a lot of colonies, you have a lot of ships, such. USA, you know what, it's actually not a bad idea to play as the US. Because they're really good, and you won't have too much to worry about other than Japan. Like, really, that's the only nation that you're pretty much gonna be fighting, I suppose, unless you want to do some shenaniganry in over here in America. But yeah, to recap, Switzerland, Romania, or really any of the Balkan countries, whichever works really, and possibly France, but also USA. Those are my recommended nations, I should say. Fairly safe to play, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, it's been my first video for Hearts of Iron 4, so hope you did find it useful. And don't forget to comment and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and I'll see you next time.